good morning to all of you. Following the insightful talks by CA Chintan sir and Purushottam sir, and also our visionary chairperson Anjali ma'am, would like to progress for a day 2 of the National Women Conference. I am excited, Tarjni Shah, I am excited to introduce our 2 visionary faculties for the session. Yes. I would like to invite Ms. Swarupama Chaturvedi ma'am and Aarti Sarkar ma'am to the dais. Welcome, ma'am. It is my immense pleasure to introduce 2 visionary faculties. Let me first introduce Srimati Aarti Sarkar ma'am. She is a senior space scientist working with the Space Application Center, ISRO, Ahmedabad. She belongs to Dehradun and completed her high school in 1985. She did her master's in the physics from IIT in the year 1990 and MTech from Delhi IIT in the year 1991. She joined ISRO in the year 1992 and she has completed more than 30 years of services in the ISRO. At present, she is working in the capacity of a group director, Electro-Optical System Design and Integration Group. She has made very important contribution in the mission of Chandrayaan, Mars mission and many other more important projects. With this short introduction, I would like to welcome ma'am on behalf of Ahmedabad branch of ICAI. We are glad to have you, ma'am. I invite Anjali ma'am to give a memento to Aarti Sarkar.
Welcome, ma'am.
Yes. I would like to introduce our second, again very visionary faculty, Mrs. Swarupama Chaturvedi ma'am. Ma'am is advocate on a record of a Supreme Court of India, former assistant professor in NLSIU Bangalore. Being 1999 law graduate, registered as an advocate with the Bar Council in the year 2000, she is living with her law from more than 2 decades. She has seen her life and law through the different directions, and she has understood the academia and litigations are her 2 hands. She can neither choose one over another. She can ever make another compromise on one another. Both the complements to each other, and that's how she lives with the law. I would like to welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of ICAI, and it is my again immense pleasure to welcome you. Glad to have you, ma'am. Before handing over the stage to Shruti, I just want to give 2 lines for all of us and to the faculties. चंद्रयान की सफलता है अंतरिक्ष में उड़ान. चंद्रयान की सफलता है अंतरिक्ष में उड़ान. सीए का ज्ञान है हर संख्या में जान. We live with the numbers every day. न्याय की राह दिखती है कानून की पहचान. न्याय की राह दिखती है कानून की पहचान. नारी शक्ति का प्रतीक है हर क्षेत्र में महान. नारी शक्ति का प्रतीक है हर क्षेत्र में महान. Now I request Shruti Mehta to take forward.
So before we start the panel discussion, हम सबको we must be curious about listening to the journey of Chandrayaan mission and mission Mars, right? So I would request Aarti ma'am to just share her journey for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will take the session for the panel discussion. Thank you.
A very good morning to all. I am Aarti Sarkar. and good to see you all. I am Group Director in ISRO, where we make cameras for different satellite systems, which includes both Earth observation and planetary science. So as you can see the screen, my journey and my place is there in that universe where we have made different camera systems which is visible. So it is in the sky that we like to reach the sky as well as we work there. So you can see the different cameras which we have made for different payloads. And okay, this is my journey, and like I am from Uttarakhand, a very small place, Dehradun, where I have educated. I have done my schooling from Convent of Jesus and Mary High School, and then did my BSc from Garhwal University, and MSc from IIT Roorkee, MTech from IIT Delhi, and immediately after that I joined ISRO in 1992. So this is a pointer there, or so. Okay, so first picture you can see that it is of my place, Dehradun. It is a beautiful hilly place, and but for last 30 years I am here in Gujarat, which is giving me bread and butter. And no, it's okay. So, and then this is my school, which very recently I visited, so I saw a lot of change there. Then this is the university where I did my MSc, and this is at present where I am in ISRO. So here again, the people who are instrumental in shaping my life, can I just go back? So it actually became a challenge for me because I missed 2 photographs, which didn't appear sort of, and it is important for me to show these. So these are my parents and sister. So obviously they are the prime people who have shaped my life. Both my parents, they were professors. One was in Hindi, my mother, and my father was in geography. And then this is my sister, who has been my inspiration, my role model. And she's at present in Delhi in CII as Deputy Director General. And another photograph is of my daughter. I have a daughter, and now she's working in Delhi right now, at present in Noida. So these photographs somehow could not be seen. So can I go to full screen mode? Yeah. So can you help me?
Yeah, she can.
Yeah. Control F5, I think, है ना? Okay, thank you so much. So this is my husband. He has supported me throughout my journey. He's also in ISRO. He's at present Deputy Director. Then my mother-in-law, who really loved me and was proud of me. Then our former chairman, Shri A.S. Kiran Kumar, he has been the inspiration for me right from the beginning, because when I joined, he was the head of my division at that time. And there's lots and lots I have learned from him, and I have a lot of regards for him. And then my support system. These are the ladies who supported me in my household work, which I think is very important for a lady to work in a carefree mode in office. So that kind of support is very, very important. I think every one of you will agree. There's no, it's nothing good or to be proud that I am doing everything at home also and I am doing everything in office, because we have to multitask and we should have a good support system. That is what I feel, at least. So this is my workplace. It is a beautiful place here in Ahmedabad, Space Application Center. If you people have not visited, please do visit. You would definitely need some permission. then now that you know me, I can give it. So we have beautiful flowers and peacocks are there. So it is something which I do daily is go to office and go for a nice walk in the campus where I just get rejuvenated with kind of mixing with nature. So I have completed around 31 years. I would be completing in December. So these are about the, we basically in Ahmedabad, ISRO, we make cameras for the different satellites which cater to both remote sensing as well as for planetary missions. So we have had 2 planetary missions, that is first is Mars mission, and then we had 3 Chandrayans. So I'll talk a little bit about those. Apart from that, we have supported our defense system also for various satellites. These are for Earth, basically applications for Earth sciences and all. And then these are the different upcoming missions where I'll just touch upon the more important one. Trishna mission is in collaboration with France. And then we have basically a Lupix mission, which is again going to go to moon. It will go far towards the North Pole and it will go inside the crater because we have found water. So we have to see whether there is, what is there, in which form water is there. So basically a rover will be going inside the crater and we both are collaborating for that. Then we have a Chandrayaan-4 mission, which is a sample return mission. That is, we are going to go to moon and we are going to come back with a sample and we'll be analyzing that. And then again, we are making even satellites for different countries. Recently, very recently, last year, we made a satellite for Bhutan, and now the second is for Mauritius. And for Oman also we are going. Then we have a Venus mission where we will be going to Venus and with a different set of cameras which will study the atmosphere and the surface of Venus. So till now I have worked in more than 50 payloads camera system and more than 50 are envisaged to be delivered in next 5 years. And right now, obviously, we are in R&D because we have to develop a kind of technology once we are going to use it for our operational cameras. So, like I said, we support different systems. So, agriculture university for different crop production, forecasting. Then for water, forecasting the flood and all. I'll just not go into detail. Then for blue economy. And then again, studying the geoscience, these earthquakes and all, the damage done by these things, then the minerals, exploring them. Then definitely right now, the need of our is for environmental. So detecting the air pollutants, those of you, if you have come from Delhi, know what is the kind of situation there. So the air quality prediction and mitigation, those kind of studies also. For that we'll make cameras which will see from space. Okay. So first, if we go to Mars orbital mission, I have been part of these missions because I started from 1992 December. So this was the first interplanetary mission which was launched on 5th November 2013. And actually, we were the first to reach Mars in first attempt. So it is that, it's not that we are very great, but what we did, we learned from others' problems and the difficulties which they faced. So this mission, though the life of the mission was only 6 months, but it completed 7 years on 24th, 2021. So it had a very extended life. Why? Because the life basically depends on the fuel. And if your calculations and the precision which you move and are captured by Mars, then you have a lot of fuel which will extend the life of the mission. So it had a few cameras, the ones 5 it had, the ones I am showing is what were made here in our SAC Ahmedabad. There was a thermal infrared camera. which studied the atmosphere of Mars. Then there was methane camera, which was supposed to find the traces of methane on Mars, because that directly implies that there is life once methane is there. Then the atmosphere complete color camera was there, which studied and gave lovely photographs, which you can see of different craters on the surface of Mars. Then this is one of the volcano which was there. And these signs, what you are seeing in this last image, you can see that these are the kind of things which show that there was water many, many years back, because something, if you will see, if even in your garden or thing, some water was there for some few days, you will see those traces there. No? So this is kind of gives a, so next year we are going to have a mission to Mars, that is a number 2, where we are going to land on Mars, and then we are going to study the surface and all. So again, then a very big mission is Chandrayaan mission. We are all very curious about our this satellite, which is a natural satellite of Earth, that is Moon. And actually why we want to study is that it will give us some implication how everything was born, how this complete universe was born. So for that only we went to Chandrayaan. So Chandrayaan 1 was launched in 2008, and then Chandrayaan 2 in 2019, where we had to land on Moon, but unfortunately because of a small mistake, we could not, but we came back, we rigorously studied what happened. Then on, again after 4 years in 2023, we have launched again, and we had a soft landing on Moon on 23rd August 2023. I think it is a proud moment, not only for us, but to all Indians. And actually, we became first to launch, first to land on the near the South Pole of Moon. So why South Pole? Because it is very difficult to land. The sun angles, the accuracy requires, the different craters which are there, there will be big craters. Because of asteroid impact on the surface, there will be big craters. So you should not land inside the crater, then everything is lost. Rover would not. So that precision required, what were our errors or mistakes in the first one, too rigorously that was studied. And after 4 years, we have successfully soft landed in the South Pole of Moon. So that I think is a very big achievement for our country, because we are first in South Pole and 4th country in the world to soft land on Moon. So if you just think that India is such a small country in the complete globe, and we have achieved such an important feat. So here in Chandrayaan 1 also, we became 4th country to reach on the surface of Moon, because here we had one Moon impact probe, which you are seeing here. So what we did, once we were in the orbit of Moon, we dropped this with a flag, Indian, and then while going down, it gave photographs on reaching the Moon. So it is just that our flag was in 2008 itself, we had a this on the Moon, something of our country. Though that soft landing was now, but we had something. So here this is a Chandrayaan 3, where I'm just showing the lab picture. So this is the propulsion module, and this is the lander. Lander, you can see all the tests, different hundreds of tests they go on for these kind of missions. And then this is a rover, this is a lander. And so again, this is what I just repeated. So here it gets separated, like you are seeing this separation is there from the module. One, it is at 100 kilometers, then it comes down at, I think many of you might have watched the direct landing on this. So it will come, it will hover and see the locations, we have different sensors which are specifically there for landing. So, and most of these sensors were made here in our Ahmedabad center. So we can be proud of that also. And so what it will do, one of our camera is in orbit from Chandrayaan-2, which will map the surface of moon with very high resolution, and those maps are fed in our instrument, and once we take the image, live image of the area, we compare with the map, we see whether it is good for landing, it will hover at around 30 kilometers, then slowly it will come down. But everything happened with precision and time, and we landed. Okay. So these are few of the images of Chandrayaan. This is basically taken by the rover after landing. So you can see the soil there on that. Actually, on that wheels, we had our emblem, which we thought we'll be able to see, but the soil there is very soft. So if it is because of the texture, that could not come down. So that now you can see the shadow of the rover. All these sensors, they were made here in Ahmedabad. I was the part of it, so I feel very proud about it. So again, here you can see the different phases of work which I am seeing. So here, this is the one satellite which was made for defense. It is for strategic purpose. Like if you remember, we had surgical strike on when we had done. So this was part of that, and I proudly say that I was Deputy Project Director for those satellites. And you can see the single mirror is there, and then this telescope during various stages. Then we have big systems. We have to have calibration systems. We have to simulate the conditions, what the camera will see in space. So those kind of high technology labs are there. Then here you can see that it is in thermovac. We are going for test in this, because there in space it is vacuum is there. So how my system will behave, whether will survive or not. Like you all know that rover, it was for 1 lunar day. 1 lunar day is equivalent to 14 Earth days. So basically, because the temperatures, they go down to minus 200 degrees. So that kind of things, whether our electronics or the optics, whether those things will survive or not, for the in vacuum, that all we have to test. Then this is one of the scenario. You can see that it was during the launch. You can see this is the mission control room. Everyone is busy with their task at this thing. So there you can see that many dignitaries, they visit our lab. This was one of the parliamentary visit. Then here, I am just explaining something to the chairman, Madam Smriti Irani. She also visited us. This is, when we flag off our payload from Ahmedabad, it goes to Bangalore. Bangalore is a satellite. There it gets integrated with the satellite. Then it goes to Sriharikota. There the satellites get integrated with the rocket, and the launch takes place. So this is one of the flag offs which I have just put. Like I told, I was the Deputy Project Director for the earlier mission, and for also the largest telescope which we have made, which is around, the mirror size is 1.2 meter in diameter. And then this one is just the day, evening or night before launch. You can see the PSLV is ready for the launch. So this was just, and then apart from that, I am also Adhyaksh for Hindi में कार्य करो वाला committee है हमारे उसमें. And then here what I did was, one unique thing we did was that for ये अपना 75वां महोत्सव जो था आज़ादी का, इसमें we had more than 75 cameras which we made for different satellites. So we made a very unique book where we described about each of these payloads in a form of small poem in Hindi. हिंदी में एक कविता के रूप में उसकी सारी जानकारी रखी और उसका हाथ से उसका चित्र बनाया. तो वो हमारा लास्ट जो ईयर था, हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री, होम मिनिस्टर, उन्होंने उसका विमोचन किया था. So I was part of that. Then again, this image, if what you are seeing is on 23rd August. Our Chief Minister of Gujarat, he came to watch the landing along with us. So here I am just showing the two cameras which we have sent for Mars. These are very small cameras, you can see. So that is what I'm just showing him. And this is the moment, and this is our former chairman, Kiran Kumar sir. So here you can see the small successes, what we get during our phase of development. This was in Bangalore Satellite Center. So it is just showing that everyone feels so happy with small success itself. Then everyone can recognize Shri Ravi Shankar ji. So he also came, visited our lab. So this is one of the initial image where I told that in Bangalore we integrate our camera with the satellite. There also we undergo rigorous testing. And this is the finally our satellite, one of our satellite which I am showing, it is in final condition. Here this is in Sriharikota. Then after that it gets attached to the PSLV rocket and it is ready for launch. But here also we have to ensure, do many tests that it will, the performance is, it is sustained. What we had done in our Ahmedabad center, it retains when we have different integration. So again, this is my last slide. Here, our father of our space science, Vikram Sarabhai. Now he said that we should have a space program which is meaningful for our nation, cater to the needs of our nation, and also that we should be second to none when it is considering the space science in the world. So that is why we have gone parallelly in both the programs, one to serve our country in different sectors, another to fly to the moon. Okay, thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, ma'am, sharing your wonderful journey so far. We also have the another stalwart visionary with us, Madam Swarupama ji, who is the advocate of Supreme Court of India. So I would now request Swarupama ma'am to share her journey, and then we'll directly take up a panel discussion. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. When it comes to describing my journey, I'm actually not the best person to do that, considering that I'm a very introvert person. When I say introvert, people who know me in court won't agree with me. Because when it comes to speaking in the court, I don't allow others to speak because I have to present my case. But that's where it's my role, it's my job. And when it comes to me as a person, I don't like to speak much because for speaking I get paid in the court, not at home. So people often ask my husband, does she argue at home? He said, no, I don't pay. So, so this story is to tell you that we all have two different lives. We all, not only women, it's for men also perhaps, but for women it is more because the stereotype role in which society sees us is totally different than how we look at mirror and see ourselves. We need to be true to both. I would not say we just need to look mirror and live that. We should also keep that in mind because we are one species who are blessed with being able to do justice with multiple roles. So after listening Aarti ma'am, I was really afraid that I would not be able to speak considering the overwhelming experience we got to see, which is we all are proud of. But then as I said, when I have to speak, I have to speak, and I try to do justice with best of my capabilities, so here I am. I was asked to speak about my journey, and when we talk about journey, it's not where we stand. Our journey can never be determined by putting my name in Google and knowing what I'm up to, because that's where everything would talk about things which I could do after being noticed. But the journey begins long before that, where nobody noticed. Those struggles, those hard works, those feeding the child, preparing the lecture, going through the class, everything, Google doesn't talk about that. And perhaps that's where I congratulate this kind of organizing events. Because this is where, one-to-one, we get to see the journey, which is to be heard, to be seen, not for anything that I want you to know me. It's for just feeling that what you may be going through is normal. We all go through, and at the same time, we reaches where we dream for, or sometime even beyond our dreams, like moon. So I'm very bad in switching topics, but let me just go back to my journey from where I began, considering the time given to me. I started from a place which is called Kushinagar. It's somewhere 3 hours drive. We cross the international border and go to Nepal, and hardly in half an hour we can cross the state border and go to Bihar. So it is somewhere in the triangle in between Bihar and Nepal. It is eastern UP. The place is very famous international tourist place because Buddha took his last breath. And I have heard of 5-star hotel when I born with, like in that small place. But when I say this, it doesn't mean the place is developed. While I knew that there is a 5-star hotel because international tourists comes in the Kushinagar, I also had a situation that from village, which is just 3-4 kilometers from the Kushinagar, that temple area, from international destination important place, hardly 3-4 kilometers, but no girl child from any family except mine and one more prominent family was going to school beyond class 5th. Because till class 5th we had primary school. After 6, one had to go to Kushinagar, which was 3-4 kilometers only. So the place which is internationally known is not the same as it is in reality. I don't know now what is the situation because I left village at 18 of my age, but journey really started from that place where I used to walk, ride my cycle to go to school and college, and I completed my BSc with botany chemistry in Kushinagar. At the age of 18, I was moved to do my law in Gorakhpur, and journey actually begins from there. But it's important to talk about Kushinagar because the place where you take schooling, start your education, where girl child hardly go to school. So the sensitivity towards women, towards girl child, I have inbuilt in me differently. I'm sorry, I become emotional sometimes when I talk about girl child. So when I said, my father always gave me liberty to do whatever I wanted to do. I had all freedom, whatever I wanted to do in my professional life. And that's where I opted to go for law because not I come from legal background family, I am from litigants family. I have seen the most of the respect, I'm fine, thank you. So I have seen most of the respect going to the Babuji, who's advocate and takes care of my grandfather's all land acquisition cases. So somewhere from the childhood, lawyer is something everybody hears. That was in mind, and that's where perhaps my desire to speak and being heard was there somewhere inbuilt. And my mother, she has raised me with the very simple thought that either you or your 2 brothers, everybody has to be financially independent. So while I was raised, I was not taught how a girl should walk, how a girl would be desirable, but I was taught how a girl should prepare herself to face the society, how a girl should be financially independent, and if her child, my mom's line I would repeat, my mom said, if your child asks, show something that you need to buy, you should open your purse and buy it, rather looking for your husband that who should open the purse. So that is where my journey started, and I give credit for wherever I am to my mom, and that's why this was important to be shared, because we all are moms, are either moms or to be moms. So how we raise our children makes the society. It's not only we should stand for us, we should raise also for the society, and that responsibility is given to us. We cannot deny, because if we deny, we are unfair to the society. We have, that's why I said that we look at mirror, see yourself, live for that, but at the same time how society sees you, no need to ignore that as well, because we are competent to deal with both. So when I said after my BSc that I want to do law, my father looked at me, law, is it for girls? No. That was the first reaction. But then it was first no from him. I have never heard that, so I was not ready to hear that. So I told him, listen, this is what I want to do, and you have always taught us to do what we want to do, so you can't stop me. He said, no, I'm not stopping you. I'm still standing with my words. Why don't you do B.Ed, ensure a job, and then think about doing law? It's just 1 year course, give entrance to all, and then go ahead wherever you get admission. Because he was sure I would not be able to pass law entrance exam, as I was having botany chemistry, and law is totally a different stream. I was never good in civics. I could not even mark Delhi on map of geography in my 6th, 7th class. So he knew she would definitely not pass the entrance, and then I applied for that. I gave all entrance. I was admitted for MSc, I was admitted for B.Ed. Law entrance result came later. Until that, I was hopeful. I still remember my LLB roll number, because that was the last roll number of the class, which I scored, because I somehow passed entrance, somehow. And then journey started with my first semester joining the class in half semester, because the fight at home, whether I should do 1 year B.Ed or I should do law, because it's gentleman's profession. And if you do the law, my father didn't tell me in so many words, but I could hear from he justifying or my uncles talking to him, law कर लेगी तो शादी करना बड़ा मुश्किल होगा. So, you know, while we come from the family where we are liberally raised, still that stereotype somewhere in back of the mind exists, even if our parents have never spoken to us openly. But we, again, blessed with the sensitivity that we know things which is not even told in so many words. And that make us where we are. So I always was with the inbuilt pressure that I have to perform, because everybody told me you are not meant for it, and I had to prove them wrong, because it was my choice and I had to stand with my decision. So while in my first semester in international law course, I got my back paper, I ensured that from next semester onwards I was highest scoring student in the class. Until LLB, I was the strong contender for gold medal, which I missed, because having back paper in one semester, you cannot be gold medalist. So I missed that in LLB. And then I promised I would not leave university without taking gold medal. It was my choice, it was mine, and I missed because I didn't know in my first semester back paper means you lose the medal. So I had to rectify that. And then I did LLM. I am the first LLM gold medalist from the Gorakhpur University. Before me, nobody has got that. Because of 3 conditions, you have to be first attempt pass, then highest scoring, and no back paper. So before me, nobody has fulfilled all 3 conditions together and then crossed 60%. So I broke record of my dean itself. So of course, university was quite kind to me. Interestingly, when I did my LLB, I didn't know that Master of Law even exists. So the kind of exposure I had coming from the small village, and even joining after 1 semester of LLB, I got to know there is something called LLM also. Okay, if I'm doing well, then I may get admission in LLM and then I can be teacher, because my father always wanted me to be a teacher. My parents, both are teachers. So they wanted, because that is what's supposed to be good for women. So I was groomed for, that you have to be teacher. So when I did my LLB, I told my father I want to go for practice. He said, I can't imagine you seeing in the court, because my father has also seen district court only. And that's where I said, sometimes you reach even beyond your dreams. My father could not imagine I would be arguing in the Supreme Court. Forget about my father, even I didn't know that. So at that stage, yeah. So my father very clearly gave me 3 options. Either go and prepare for judiciary, or you are so far, performed well, so top 10 students ka LLM admission ho jata hai, so you will be getting that. Go for LLM, I'm okay with that. Or third, and his perhaps first option, get married. So I felt the LLM was the only option for me, because I didn't want to have the job, because I was always like, I wanted to be advocate to argue the case. The film mein heroine ka wo advocate ka uniform has always attracted me. So I wanted to be advocate, and I didn't want to go for job. Well, journey had something else in destiny for me, and I did LLM, and in LLM I performed better. My LLM dissertation was comparative federalism. The same person who could not pass in first attempt international law was doing research on international transnational law papers, and that was that good that publisher decided to publish it as book. So it was such a motivating journey that suddenly I felt attracted to academia. This is how our parents do what they want to do, they get it from us. And while my parents thought that after B.Ed I would have a secure job, perhaps I would be teaching in some inter-college and they would be happy that I'm financially independent, journey had its own way. I qualified NET when I came for PhD to Delhi University and NLS Bangalore, the college which I could not even go to study because I was like in very small place to even think and dream for that. I was selected to teach in that college. First day when I joined Bangalore and I've gone to my chamber, I called my father and I said, Papa, आपने भेजा नहीं था ना मुझे LLB करने, पढ़ाने आई हूँ, मेरे को यही आना था. Because when I did 10+2, I did ask my father because NLS was starting at that time and he said, बेटा आप बहुत छोटी हैं, Bangalore बहुत दूर है. But Bangalore was meant for me. So when you aspire for something, you reach. That's where I see that example. And interestingly, I spent equal time duration as a student spent in a college. 5 years law journey, and I taught for 6 years. So, and then while I got opportunity to teach in Bangalore, the international law I was afraid for, I got opportunity to teach in foreign countries, kids, the law of Indian law as well as their own country law. So while starting a journey from Kushinagar, a village where the medium of instruction was Hindi, when I came to do PhD in DU in my hostel, I realized everybody is speaking so well. How can I open my mouth and speak? I don't know. I don't have the fluency, And then going and teaching law and MBA in London is called journey. I thought at that moment, जिंदगी सफल हो गई, पापा मम्मी सबको बहुत, तुम लोगों की उम्मीद से आगे निकल गई, बस everything is settled. But when we think settled, it doesn't happen. Life had something else, because as I said, dreams also get changed. So I felt now this dream, one chapter is over. Interestingly, I took call in between to get married to a guy who was settled in Delhi, and then, practice, being advocate was always in my mind. My husband didn't want me to shift. He was like, I'll come to Bangalore. I said, no, I want to come to Delhi. Only condition is I want to do practice. And he was like, your career, your decision. I mean, what I have to do with that? This support, which I considered normal, my all colleagues, friends around me were, oh, कितना अच्छा लड़का है यार, क्या support कर रहा है तुझे? Is it something big thing? No, this is basic. Every woman sitting in the house, cooking for kids and family, preparing breakfast and tiffin, raising kids, do the same throughout their life. Our moms have done, everybody does. Who acknowledge them? That how supportive a spouse you have, that you can be relaxed, sitting in the parliament perhaps making the law, or sitting in judiciary pronouncing the judgment, or becoming CEO and running the company. Nobody. But when it is done by a male, everybody does that. So gender discrimination is something till that time I have not experienced, considering my unique family support from both sides, my parents' side as well as on in-laws' side. And at that stage, when after getting my daughter, I decided to move to Delhi, I came to practice in Supreme Court because that's where I feel I was made for. And journey again begins now, which I thought it is concluded and I have reached the sky. Yes, it was sky when I think of Kushinagar and then going where I was, it was sky. But sky has the limit. Ma'am is still exploring that, and we all are exploring with her in our different ways. Whether we are made for landing on moon or sun or wherever, we will have to find out. As they are exploring, we all are exploring our place. So my exploration for my sky continued. And gender discrimination, I'll share some anecdotes to share how I have experienced gender discrimination. I mean, got glimpse of it. Nobody could dare to do that with me, but glimpse of it. I was sitting in cafeteria, I was preparing for my OR, reading some book because I don't like to chit-chat much. So, I was just reading my book and having my coffee. A gentleman shared the table, advocate, and said, "Oh, आप AOR के लिए पढ़ाई कर रही हैं?" I said, "Yes." हाँ, लड़कियों के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. I closed my book, looked at him. Till that time I have not looked at him. And I said, लड़कों के लिए बुरा कैसे है? लड़कियों के लिए अच्छा है, that's true. But लड़कों के लिए बुरा क्यों है? So then he said, नहीं, लड़कों के लिए बुरा नहीं है, but I'm saying women के लिए मतलब, I said, no, I'm just trying to understand कि लड़कियों के लिए तो अच्छा है, but men के लिए बुरा क्यों है? He had no answer to it. Because when we are professional. And there is nothing called male and female. And I tell you very frankly, this is first such event by women for women, only for women. I happily in first call said, yes, I'm coming. Because generally I feel for women cause, until men speak, change is not going to come. So we in closed corridor can talk anything about on any issues. It makes no difference. Why we have to be secluded and talk separately? But this theme was different. Sharing my journey with my young colleagues that, okay, if I can, you can. That is a different thing altogether than talking about women rights in a closed corridor on women, as women panel and making women sit there. That's something I always say no to because I don't believe in that. So I have written an article also with that help of an anecdote. I just felt like writing. Advocate means advocate. Why they call lady advocate? It's very prevalent term. I'm sure you all are, I'm using term advocate everywhere in my talk, but it applies to all professionals, whether you or anybody. So please relate with that because this discrimination which I'm talking prevalent in every system, every industry. It's not unique to advocates. So I've written, advocate means advocate. Why lady advocate when you don't call gentleman advocate? Whether you have heard anywhere gentleman CA, gentleman advocate, but lady CA, lady advocate, why? Why we are always labeled only because of our gender when we have passed our exam the same way and we are standing together? For me, feminism has a different definition. I don't call myself feminist only because the famous mode of feminism means anti-men, and I'm not. They complement us. We all complement each other. So I'm not anti-men at all. I never talk that way because good and bad we have on both genders, all societies, all industries. So that's not feminist means, and that's why I don't call myself feminist. But when it comes to women, journey of every woman is same, how you start, where you reach. And I always say when I talk to my juniors, any lady junior in the office, you are here, that itself is a success. Because irrespective of caste, reason, religion, society, women has somewhere that stereotype experience, whether we acknowledge or we don't acknowledge. Because I have friends, clients in every kind of system. I have lived in Germany, I have seen even that society. Everywhere the discrimination exists, the form, the nature, the stakes are different. So here we feel that we must at least, I'm not saying go and fight with anybody, but wherever you find your sister, at least if you can't do anything, don't be mean. Because leg pulling is one thing, which is again the truth. We hardly stand with each other, we make a laugh. And here again, I will share a very most recent anecdote. Morning only I had a discussion with ma'am and she said that I must share. The day I told one day ago that I'm going for this kind of event here, a professional from your fraternity said, "Oh, ladies kitty party, how did you get time to go for it?" And I said, well, I first try to avoid, because as I don't get paid for fight, so I don't fight without payment, so I did try to avoid. I tried to write ha 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 and ignore the question, but she continued. So after 2-3 statements, then I decided to respond. I said, listen, I'm everywhere which is for women, of women, and what's wrong in that, even if it is kitty party, and if the kitty party can inspire even 5 of them, 2 of them, because we all somewhere go through the internal hesitation, which Khandelwal sir mentioned in first session, that you have many questions, but to whom to ask? We being women are basically hesitant. So, if connecting with each other help somebody to answer some of their questions which they have in their heart, which is taking away their confidence unconsciously, what's wrong in that, even if you call it kitty party? But I actually did not appreciate this kind of, because it was not, I considered it as a slang. So we women, when we reach at certain position, often we forget our journey. We must always remember, and we should assess everybody standing with us, behind us, ahead us. From that lens, we need to see each other. And that's where I thought that, talking to each other and having these kind of conversation help. So I came to Supreme Court, started with whatever capacity I could. Opportunities have been fair to me, or I was always good in not losing them and taking the quick call, because I always believe until you take the risk, you can't move. I mean, my friends, everybody was shocked when I decided to resign from NLS Bangalore, which was the pensionable job and, post-retirement, everything settled for women. And at the time when women take career break, my daughter was 9 months when I came for career transition and started practice while I was teaching 6 hours in NLS Bangalore week. I was working 16 to 18. I do, even now, I don't look at watch and I work, but that's my choice. I like doing that. I'm passionate about it. So that gives me happiness. So far as career is concerned, whether it was academia or the litigation, professional life has been very satisfactory for me. I was welcomed, accepted, but the acceptance does have its own journey. And we all fight for that at certain stage, but if we are clear what we don't want in our life, what we want becomes clear. So I never know what I want, but often I'm very quick at figuring out what I don't want. And I'm true to my heart for myself, because our duty is first towards ourselves. And then if we are clear to us, then we can be nice to anybody else. So you can call me selfish for that purpose, but then I personally feel that if I'm not strong enough, I cannot support anybody. So I do think of myself first, but I'm not selfish up to the extent that myself affects anyone. But yes, when it comes to thinking, I think it's fair to think of ourselves, but ourselves, that circle should include we the women. That's where I always believe in, and that's where I have been living. This is my life mantra. This is how I have been living. Now, I think it is a journey, and I don't know, it's up to you to decide, but destination is neither known to me nor I want to know, because I always consider life as a journey, exploring all new destinations, moving ahead. The moment we will reach moon, we will find that from where we came. So, searching the roots, finding, there is always a circle and something new to look forward to, which we all should continue. But the basic thing which I wanted to convey message through this, we all have different journey, but same. And that we must stand with each other and understand and respect. Thank you. Open for queries. So.
Thank you both of you, ma'am. It was very much pleasure to hear both of you, and your journey so far has given us a deep insights to give a deep dive into our journey also. So our session is wisdom from visionary, and if we talk about the wisdom, wisdom always encompasses with the deep insights into the, various aspects of life, innovation, or leadership. So having wisdom, it's always crucial. So my question is to you, Sarupama ma'am. How do you define wisdom, and what kind of a role the wisdom has played into your life's journey?
For me, wisdom is it on? Yeah, it's on. For me, wisdom is nothing something which comes out of anywhere. Wisdom has few facets. One which I said, that we have to be true to ourselves, good in analyzing what is before us, while dream beyond whatever limit you think that you are having limitation so far in your presence. At the same time, be realistic to accept for something which is perhaps less than that. As quick you are in figuring out this and taking the final call, okay, that's it, is wisdom for me. Wisdom is accepting what best you have, but without losing hope, continue dreaming for. That's where I think, although we can't define wisdom, but this is my wisdom I have lived with.
Very well said, ma'am. To be true with yourself and to be a realistic. Yes. So, as we all know that Mission Mars and Mission Chandrayaan was a great success, and but for achieving that success, ma'am, always we miss out the sense of a purpose. So my question is to you, Aarti ma'am, that how do you define success, and what kind of a role a sense of purpose plays for achieving those success?
Yeah. Just deviating from what she said, and like ma'am told that still there is gender bias in our society. So just 2 days back when I was coming back from office, it was around 8, so I was, when I just came to a lift of our society, one gentleman was already standing there. उन्होंने बोला, आप अब आ रहे हो? मैंने कहा, आप भी तो अब आ रहे हो. So it is still that this thing, see, definitely we are much better because we do a lot of multitasking and the management. And here only what, madam, you said that success. What is success? Visionaries, they don't have any definition for success. They have a vision and they are very clear about that vision, that we have to achieve this, we have to do this. We have a visionary in Vikram Sarabhai. We have a visionary in Einstein and Stephen Hawking, where they had a vision that we have to find out how this universe was born. They didn't say that now that we have the answer, so we are successful. No. Success is in small steps or in large steps, that we have a goal. We achieve that goal through small successes, and as we go through the journey, we take a leap. Now, success, in my case, I don't see that whether I am successful or not or whatever, it is something that I achieve every day. It is small things, whether it is in our life or whether it is in our workplace. So, what I would say that can I say that my parents, they were successful because they had a vision that they have 2 daughters and they wanted them to be financially independent and at good position, that they could make both of their daughters. That was their vision, and that was their success in life. So visionaries per se, they don't have any goals for being successful. They have a vision. They want to achieve that for a certain purpose, which is mostly for themselves. Thank you.
Can I add something?
Yeah,
just
please,
in
ma'am,
that?
please.
Though it was not to me, but I wanted to add. For me, success means if I can do what I want to do. without affecting anything else. That's my success. Every day, every minute.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. So, as a visionary, my question is both to the both of you. So, as a visionary, you must have come across the various sorts of challenges and the obstacles, as ma'am already said, by sharing her journey. So, what were your challenges which you come so far, and how did you deal with that change management to navigate through the change?
See, challenges are of two types. One is in work and other is to work. So certain things with certain girls and ladies, we have seen that they have a challenge to convince, not now definitely, but during that time, some 30 to 35 years back, that they have to work. But if you have a support of your parents, your husband in your later life and your in-laws, then you can work. For instance, my friend was there, which studied in IIT with me and all that. She didn't work. Simply why? Because her husband kept on telling, yeah, you go ahead and work. But she was loaded with so many responsibilities of a house, of her in-laws, of her children at the initial stage, that even though she wanted, but she didn't. So that is very important, that first is to overcome the challenge of to work, which I didn't have, because my parents, they anyway had a vision that both the daughters should be working. And then is the challenge in work. Yes, ladies do face challenge in work. When I joined ISRO, there were very few women in the our office here itself. It may be 1% or so. Now it has risen to around more than 25 to 30%. But initial stage, it was a challenge that once my daughter was born, obviously I was on leave, maternity leave. They didn't send me for the promotion because I didn't contribute for 6 months. That is a very stupid thing on their part, because other than that, I was contributing, I think, more than the men were doing. I was very sincere, very humble, and dedicated to my work. But that was not taken into account. But nevertheless, what I felt that I should not grieve upon that or do anything like that. Instead, what I used to do and still do is I just love my work. I find it very exciting, and I give my full to that. And it is because of that, my love to work and my beautiful, successful team, that I am where I am.
Very well said, ma'am. Love your work at whatever stage or age you are. So, what kind of advice would you like to give to our aspiring women professional who want to become a visionary in their respective fields? I would like to start first with Sarupama ma'am.
Advice is very difficult word, too big word, but I can tell you what I have never done.
Tips share
No,
करती हूँ.
what I have never done. If you find it good, accept. So first advice is, don't take advice, listen everybody and see what suits you. So that's why I said, I'm not advising, I will share how I have dealt with. If you find it good enough, accept it. One, don't ever accept something because others say, ये तो होता है. What is normalized in the society is not necessarily what is correct. So do analyze that, okay, it must be happening. It must be happening, but is it right or not? So in every context, right, wrong varies. So don't be overreactive also. I'm not saying that just like I said about feminism, anti-men means feminism. No, don't be overreactive about everything. Don't have prejudice that every small thing, if somebody is stopping you, means it is gender injustice. But if something is, like I gave example of my husband, we still, my daughter is 12 years, still we always work out his duty roster and my cause list. If I'm traveling here, he is at home. So, like that, if somebody is doing, it is, for me, it is normal. For people, it's not, oh, husband is great, that's why he's doing. So for society, it is normal, it is great. But no, it's not. You Your partner need to know it is basic duty, as you do for him, he do for you. So now every such things, including your comment on your dressing, your whatever, it's your life, you decide, being appropriate to occasion, choosing to even drape or going for skirt, it's your choice. So somebody is sometimes even guiding you that, oh no, don't be like this. It's not always attack on your freedom. Sometimes it is the senior advice as well. Like if somebody comes to my office as intern, I always say, okay, black and white Monday to Friday, whether we are going to court or not. No t-shirt, it has to be shirt. Yeah, you know, school kids, when they come, it has to be told. So I'm not interfering because I'm the last person to interfere in anybody's liberty. But I'm guiding the how they need to be dressed for appropriate occasion, because that's actually adopting the work culture. I always feel like the role we live in, it's always like everything counts being professional when we have to have the fight of being accepted. So analyze and then don't accept being normal, anything and everything that, oh, people say it's normal, so normal. And then follow. Your instinct, what is wrong should never be accepted. Injustice should never be accepted, while adaptation to work culture is definitely necessary. Adaptation and being rebellion, both are two different things. Always know that. Personal and professional, both lives, this applies to.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Would you like to add something, ma'am?
Yeah, all these young ladies who are sitting, so what I would say is that actually we should definitely have a goal in life. We should always know what we would like to do in life. But at initial stage, it is very important to go with the wisdom of our seniors, like our parents and our teachers, because they have more knowledge, more experience, and deep understanding, which we don't have. And also, once we are moving towards a goal or towards whatever we have chalked out for us, during certain phase of life, we have to slow down, because that time we have to give to our family, to our parents. Once we required, our parents, they support us. Because definitely when I was going to office, to my parents, my in-laws, they were looking after my child. But when they don't need much, they need your time. You have to slow down. You have to have a time management. So in my case, just everyone's case is different. So in my case, during that 2016 and all, we had a very important project which I told you for defense. We had to give supply to 4 satellites within a very short span of 2 years. And that was a growing period of my daughter. She also required me. So generally for us, when we are doing that precise alignment and all, the most suitable time is at night. So I used to come back at 6, and I decided that 6 to 10 is my daughter time, my family time. After dinner, I used to go at 10. Then again, the work also was very exciting. It really excites me. And if you have that kind of love for your work, then you used to work at 3 to 4, come back, sleep for 2-3 hours, again get up because your daughter has to go to school and all. But when you are I was not cribbing, because I was liking both the things. So that is why we have to manage our time, and I feel that we have to give full time to our parents. The love and the time which they need should be given, because later we should not repent, which I did. And now both of my in-laws and my parents are not there, my daughter is working. I can again come back to the love of my work. And now I'm able to give I am working today 10 to 11 hours daily. But I am loving that work. So each one has its own problem, its own journey. And we have to see how it's best suited to us, how we have to move forward. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, giving your valuable insights and inputs. Just during this conversation, I immediately एक incidents याद आया. Anyone has watched the movie Vaccine War? Yeah, so in the last concluding remarks, Nana Patekar, as a director of ICAI, he was addressing the gathering and the press conference, and at that time he was, very proudly saying, initially he did not appreciated the efforts of a woman women scientists who were working for the covaxins. And lastly, what he concluded कि आज आप यहाँ पे जो भी लोग जिंदा बैठे हो, उसमें 70%, 70%, 70% contribution women का है. So see, so what I feel, at whatever stage, at whatever age, at whichever position we are doing our best, and perhaps sky is the limit for us, right? So with this, I conclude this, and I am opening up the session to the forum, to the audience. Is there any questions which anyone would like to ask? Any question? Yeah.
Ma'am, how do you deal with the criticism which is given to you when you don't give much time at your home?
I gave much time to my home, so
As you mentioned, कि अब आ रही हो, like that.
नहीं, right now, because अब आ रहे हो तो उस समय मेरे husband भी वहीं काम करते हैं, वो तो तब भी नहीं आए थे, है ना? तो मुझे अभी घर में ऐसा, like I said, I have a good support system. Even if I come at 8, my husband comes at 9, when we sit together, have little bit of dinner, talk. So अभी तो कुछ problem नहीं है, but जब required था तो मैं 6 बजे भी आती थी, so that I can be with my daughter and family and all.
I'll answer.
Thank you.
Because we have raised, me and my husband, we have raised our daughter together only with domestic help, while she's blessed with both parents, but we were very clear that let them come and play as and when they want, because nobody feels happy in Delhi. Delhi's pollution, etc., etc., many things. They are happy in their village and they didn't want to get settled down. Neither we asked them at that stage for babysitting. Now, going back to your question, I need little clarification. Are you talking about criticism from the family or the society?
Both, ma'am.
Both. So from the family, if somebody is questioning that you are not able to give time, then that's definitely not the family, because they are not understanding you. If it is about a spouse, parent-in-laws, then definitely you have to have the family meeting and chat that how you are placed and why it is important for you. Talk and resolve and let them understand that you are doing your basic duties, but it is shared responsibility. It's not only yours. If it is about relatives, don't count them as family, because they are there to enjoy. Whatever you do, they will talk. Log kuch to kahenge. You know, it's always, if you are giving too much time, like many homemakers do, they sacrifice their full life for the family, and you would listen. I have answered many such questions where somebody would be very nice and introduce themselves. Oh, आप क्या करती हैं? मैं कुछ नहीं करती, मैं घर में हूँ. I said, no, आप तो सबसे बड़ा काम करती हैं. You are managing the home, which is biggest task. मुझे 1 महीने जून के मैनेज करने पड़ते हैं, मेरी हालत ख़राब हो जाती है. So, women also have this kind of thought. So, if you are not doing anything and giving full time to the family, same people will say you are not doing anything. And if you are giving less time because you are managing in certain way and giving your time to something else also, then they will say, kam time deti hain. So, to log to kuch to kahenge. The best thing is not to give attention, just listen and laugh. I don't do that, because if I listen, I could not do anything, because in my case, actually this happens that yes, when evening everybody takes their child to park, I'm sitting in my office, because my cause list comes by 7:30, and by 9:10 I come to know which file has to be read. So no, I can't take her to the park. Then we decided to go on weekend one day. So in just few years of her beginning ages, I realized that I can't, because Sunday is my Monday, because I have to prepare my files for Monday. Saturday is my client meeting day. So we made rule, every family, there is no set standard. You have to customize. That's why I said the family talk. Every family, every professional requirement is different. You have to have talk and figure out amongst yourselves. Like in our case, vacation, I never work. Vacation means it's family holiday, and I immediately leave Delhi because if I'm there, I'm always at work. So I don't stay, we just leave because that's our family time. But when it's not vacation, at 2-3 years of age itself, my daughter, when she started learning speaking properly, she knows Sunday is Mama's Monday. And only Papa would be available on Sunday. So like that we have divided in between us, and that's how it's going on. So everybody has to find their way, and there is nothing standard set formula, but you have to know when you have to shut others' mouths to stop talking. It's my life, and my husband and me, 2 unit and in-laws included, we have to decide it, not anybody outside. But if the problem is within this, you have to sit and talk, because both has to be balanced.
I would like to add one thing is that now the time has changed. So the young boys, girls, husbands, they are really supportive, and I was very happy to know. Recently, 2-3 days back, we were having a meeting till late 9. Our chairman was coming, so a lot of work was there for us to wind up. So I just said that I have to go and cook. Very much, I do little. So I said, at least you people said, no, madam. My wife comes at 8 o'clock, so I go. I said, तुम करते हो थोड़ा support kitchen में, या वो आएगी and then she will start. I said, नहीं मैडम, मैं बनाता हूँ, उसको पसंद नहीं आता है, but रोटी तो मैं ही बनाता हूँ. मैंने कहा वाह, सबसे difficult काम अगर आप रोटी बना ले रहे, मतलब like that time has changed. So definitely, if it has not changed for you, you should tell your husband. See, both of us are working. Both have to do together to make a beautiful life together. Because if the only one person has to work, then she will be keep cribbing that मैं घर का भी कर रही हूँ, बाहर का भी कर रही हूँ. So that will be add some sourness to the relationship.
I'll share one more anecdote, very small one. When my child was 4 years, so complete journey started with where to find a school which could have day boarding, because we needed that. Who will shift in the noon when I'm in the court? At that stage, I was working on a very important bill. I would not take name, and you won't believe, like I'm adding to what ma'am said, the society is changing. I told to a person to whom nobody can say no, I told that, listen, by after 6 I cannot, because today my husband is at work and I have to pick my daughter from day boarding. After 6 I'm not available. Assignment was too crucial, time was to be managed. He said, okay, we will shift meeting menu to your home. So now everybody understand, if you are important professionally, if you have proved your potential, then world will adjust according to you. You don't have to adjust.
એબ્સોલ્યુટલી મેમ. સો જસ્ટ कुछ તો લોક કહેંગે કે ઉપર હિસાબ से ગુજરાતીમાં 2 જ વાક્ય કહીશ. ખોટું બોલું તો શબ્દોનો શ્વાસ ઘૂંટાય છે, ખોટું બોલું તો શબ્દોનો શ્વાસ ઘૂંટાય છે, અને સાચું બોલું તો માણસો રિસાઈ જાય છે. સો વિથ ધીસ આઈ વુડ લાઇક CA Ekta to give official vote of thanks to both the faculty.
After hearing both the panelists about wisdom, I would like to quote, हर सपने को अपनी सांसों में रखो, हर सपने को अपनी सांसों में रखो, हर मंजिल को अपनी बाहों में भरो, ये जीत तुम्हारी है, बस सपने को अपनी निगाहों में भरो. On behalf of ICAI Ahmedabad branch, I express my hearty vote of thanks to both the panelists, Aarti ma'am from Ahmedabad and Swarupa ma'am from Delhi. Aarti ma'am, thank you for giving insights of the ISRO and journey of Chandrayaan mission, and she also advised us how to slow down in certain phase of life and how to manage both the professional life and our house life. Swarupa ma'am has also nicely expressed her thoughts and motivated us to work in a team. She has also explained us how her firm determination turned her into a successful advocate of Supreme Court of India. And she also explained us what is wrong would never be accepted. Thank you both ma'am and both the panelists for giving your valuable time and giving us the opportunity to guide us. Thank you. Thank you all the participants.